It's easy to look in the mirror and assume the body you see today is the exact same one you had last week. But biologically, you are not a static object. You are a fluid system, constantly breaking down and rebuilding yourself from entirely new matter. This graphic illustrates the true scale of that turnover. In less than a single year, your body swaps out 98% of its atoms. The physical raw material making up your cells simply leaves and is replaced by new material. We can track this across your major organs. Your stomach lining rebuilds itself every 5 days. You construct a totally new liver every 6 weeks. Even your skeleton, which feels solid and permanent, completely replaces its dynamic cellular structure every 3 months. The physical form you inhabit right now is made of entirely different components than the one you had a year ago. You are a continuously flowing river of recycled earth, water, and air, swapping out the building blocks of your hardware breath by breath. This brings up an obvious biological contradiction. If you are constantly generating brand new cells, why do chronic joint pain, emotional stress, and the visible markers of aging persist year after year? Medical science has long operated under what we call the superstition of materialism. This is the assumption that humans are strictly physical machines deteriorating over time, and that treating the physical parts is the only way to fix the system. But a growing body of clinical research points to a different reality. The physical body acts as a blank screen. Your hardware is entirely dictated by your consciousness, which operates as the underlying software. When you try to cure an ailment by focusing solely on physical tissue, you are trying to solve a hardware issue. The persisting illnesses and destructive behavioral patterns you experience are actually bugs written deeply into your internal software. Physicists define a quantum as a unit of energy and information that's invisible, fleeting, and unpredictable. Your thoughts share these exact properties. Every impulse of your mind is a packet of information that triggers a shift in physical energy, making a thought a literal quantum event. An invisible emotion instantly converts into physical biochemical messengers called neuropeptides. These tiny proteins communicate with the rest of your system. Your immune cells, heart tissue, and gut all possess specific cellular receptors designed to catch these exact chemical messengers. Your cells are literally eavesdropping on your internal dialogue. Every physical organ in your body is constantly taking structural marching orders from your psychology. This represents the sheer volume of human mental output. The average person processes 60,000 thoughts every single day. 95% of those daily impulses freeze into a repetitive loop. They are the exact same thoughts from the day before. This intense mental repetition turns us into bundles of conditioned reflexes. When your body goes to generate those billions of new cells we discussed earlier, it is forced to conform them to an old, stressed-out blueprint. By allowing outworn memories to run on autopilot, you recreate the same blockages, the same pain, and the same chemical imbalances. You become a victim of your past biology, rather than the architect of a new one. You can break this biological cycle by intercepting the loop. Engaging in completely novel experiences disrupts the hypnosis of your daily routine. Breaking your patterns forces the brain to fire off new chemical signals, which physically halts the accelerated aging caused by chronic stress. Next, you have to change the input. Imagining a stressful scenario physically releases cortisol and adrenaline, wearing down your tissues. But visualizing a loving, nourishing environment floods your system with growth hormones, triggering rapid cellular repair. You have to protect your mental diet. The images and internal dialogue you allow into your mind require the exact same rigor you apply to your physical nutrition. As you can see here, true control lies in finding the gap. If you enforce a 3-second pause before reacting to a stressor, you enter the silent space between thoughts. That brief window gives you the freedom to choose an entirely new biological response. By utilizing these 3 tactics, you stop functioning as a reactive biological machine. You step into the role of an active biological programmer. Your nervous system acts as the primary instrument of observation, taking raw energy and interpreting it into the colors, textures, and forms of your life. Because this interpretation happens entirely within your own biology, the world you experience is a direct output of your state as an observer. It is time to stop identifying with your hardware. You are not your past trauma, you are not your job titles, and you are certainly not your perceived physical limitations. You are a localized field of energy and information. When you intentionally change the information you feed yourself internally, you change the energy and life you project externally. Consciously choosing your next thought activates a dormant biological capability. Rewriting your biology begins the moment you take control of your internal dialogue.